Welcome back to Just Scribble for my plan with me to set up the month of June in my B6 Stalogy, which is my personal everyday carry. So I am going to do things a little bit differently in this plan with me because I wanted to show you guys a few different ways that you could do your weeklies in your planner, because not everybody plans in a Stalogy or something similar where they're drawing out their weekly spreads. Not everyone has time or wants to draw out their weekly spreads. Some people use dailies and just need them occasionally sprinkled throughout the year. Some people use a printed planner like a Hobonichi or an Erin Condren or something like that. And so I'll also touch on ways that you can use some of these same aspects in your pre-printed planner also. And so I'm just doing things a little bit differently and actually doing each week in kind of a different way to show you some different ways that you can do your weekly spreads and that you can get them done, or that you can use them in your current planner setup, or that's my hope. So I did already lay down my June monthly overview page, which is a free printable from SM Plans from their Facebook group. And I also laid down this picture with a quote that says, "I have found that sitting in a place where you have never sat before can be inspiring." From Dodie Smith, I Capture the Castle. I really liked this quote and this picture. I found it in a Real Simple magazine, and I thought it was fitting for the month of June, since many of us are in states where orders have been lifted and we're going back to some semblance of our normal lives, and where school is ending and things are a little less stressful for me because I'm not trying to work full-time and homeschool and do everything else. So I did glue this in, and I printed this actually on label paper and I stuck it to my page. So normally I actually print it out on paper and tape runner or glue stick it down. Last month I did a printable that was colorable because it was my birthday month and Mother's Day, and I wanted to do that for myself. But this month I decided I would try using sticker paper instead, because it's just easier and you get a really nice fit into your planner. And so I printed on sticker paper, and then I cut it to size. It actually comes in 5x7, which fits in this B6 Stalogy nicely. And then I used my corner punch to curve the corners just so it looked really nice on the page. But I do put in a piece of vellum or acetate in between to kind of go over this monthly page. And so I have already pre-cut that also to fit, and I have curved, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I have curved the corner of it with my corner punch, and I'm going to just tip this in. So to do my tip-ins, I forgot my tape. Hold on. So I use Scotch tape for my tip-ins. You can use double stick tape, but if you do that, you have to stick it to one side, and so it doesn't fully turn like an actual page. It kind of stays closer to this side and it tucks in nicely, and it will be kind of like a cover page, but it doesn't flip back and forth. And so although that is actually easier in my opinion, I actually wanted it to flip back and forth, so it would be silver stars covering here if I wanted it to be when I'm flipping and looking through my book. So I use magic tape, and I use a skinnier one. So this is skinnier than the normal tape that you find. I find this at Michael's. I find that it's just nice because then I don't have so much extra tape on the edges. I do put a little bit more of the tape on the acetate or vellum side than the other, just so that if I was putting it on a page when I'm doing my tip-in, if I was putting it on a page that I was writing on or painting on, I didn't have a big chunk of tape sticking out in there, because sometimes that makes it hard for you to actually write or use your page. In this instance, because it's just a little quote that I have glued in, it doesn't matter. But then you use a ruler or some other straight edge. I am using my pencil board from Lauren Phelps Design, and you kind of fold back the tape onto that sharp edge and hold that while you place it into the seam. And so you stick your acetate or your vellum into the seam as well as you can to get it as close as possible, and then you lay your tape. I have found that using a pencil board or something like that is actually easier than using a ruler or a credit card because it's a tad bit thinner. So do I have something else here? I have this metal card, and I'm not sure if you can actually tell, but the pencil board is slightly thinner, and the thinner that it is, the more it sticks down into the like crevice of the book, and so you just get a much nicer fit deep down in there. So I'm going to put tape towards the top and the bottom of both sides, and I'm going to shove it down in there to get it down as much as I can into that crevice. And then I'm going to flip it over and put some on the other side in the center. I'm going to stick this on my acetate piece first, and then I'm going to bend that over and shove it into the little crack. So now we have a piece of pretty foiled acetate. This is from Michael's, I think. Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Maybe Joann's, but I'm pretty sure it's Michael's. But you have a pretty piece of acetate that puts little stars on both sides of your papers. So this is the intro to my month. So I will add a tab to the month so that I can easily get to the month. I have a lot of tabs to choose from, but I'm going to use this one with the gold holographic. This is my tab bag. That's where I keep all my tabs. And right now I'm using the Avery Adhesive Ultra Tabs. They are my favorite pre-made self-adhesive removable tabs. I prefer them over the Post-it ones, but I like to modify and customize the Post-it ones myself. So it kind of depends on my mood. But I'm going to put it on here, but then I will come back later with my label maker and I will put June on there. But I'm just going to stick the tab down, and now we have June. So the next page of my monthly is actually the month planner, a month on one page. This is from SM Plans. I bought this off of their Etsy shop, and normally, once again, I print it on paper. I glue runner it or glue stick it, and I stick it down. Last month, because it was my birthday month and Mother's Day, I put some pretty washi around it. But this month I printed it on sticker paper, and I'm going to stick it down with sticker paper instead. And then this is partly because I wanted to try the sticker paper and I think it's easier, and you can see that I did curve the edges with my corner punch. But the other reason is that my Stalogy is getting kind of chunky. And so printing it on sticker paper and trimming it as close as I could to the end, beginning and end of the actual month, allows me to stick it closer to the edge of the page over here and ensure that it fits nicely, so that when I'm writing on these far sides where the curve and bulge is of my notebook, I don't actually have to write down inside this margin in here. They're a little bit farther over, and it just makes it easier for me to gauge that because I have trimmed it a little bit smaller than the 5x7 size that it is, and then I have corner punched it so that it fits nicely on the curved corners of the Stalogy page, and then I have bumped it up to the edge of the page. So I don't do a lot to this page. I will mark on it some holidays, and I will also mark on it birthdays with a symbol, and I will add when my husband is out of town or working out of town and things like that as I go through the month. So we have 3 birthdays this month. My sister-in-law, my uncle-in-law, and my mother-in-law's birthdays are all this month, and it is Father's Day this month. So because of that, I have a few things to write down, but I don't like to take up all the space in case we're going on a trip or my husband is traveling or I need to notate something else. And so to show that there is a birthday, all I do is draw this little package. And so that tells me that there's an important birthday that day. And on the beginning of my calendar, if I can get to it because I've got a lot of other stuff in it, I have this kind of overview of the year, and I write down everyone's birthdays and anniversaries with that same symbol and a heart if it's their anniversary. And I just flip back to check whose birthday it is. In this instance, I know whose birthdays they are, but that's kind of my process. I'm really not sure if that made any sense whatsoever, but that is my process. And the 21st is Father's Day, so we're going to put a sticker there. So I made this little sticker book, and I keep it with my Stalogy. I keep it in the front pocket of my planner, and in it I have a lot of emoji stickers from Coffee Monsters Co. There's a couple in here from Once More with Love, but almost all of them are from Coffee Monsters Co. And I just took off holiday ones and then other ones that I use quite a bit when I'm doing my journaling and my planning, and I stuck them in here so that I always have stickers with me, but it's super slim and compact. So I mean, I have a lot of stickers in here and it doesn't take up any room in my planner. And so I made this, and I will do a video showing you guys how I made it at a later date, but I made that to keep my stickers in. And so that way, since Father's Day, where do I want to put it? Since Father's Day is this month, I can put my Father's Day sticker on there. So that is what my monthly kind of overview looks like. This is all I do as far as a monthly planner. Because I have to be on a digital planner for work, which is synced to my phone, I don't really look at a monthly planner that much, and I don't plan from a paper monthly planner. I plan from a digital monthly planner. It became too much to try to maintain both, and my brain just doesn't work that way. And because I'm a weekly planner, I don't have a lot of use for a monthly page, but I do find some use for it for remembering birthdays and signifying holidays, and just having one place that I can put things for the month if I need to know them ahead of time, if that makes sense. So this is primarily what I use it for, and then I will mark when my husband is going to be in town or out of town. So that is my June month page. And then these two pages are for my order trackers and my wish list. And so I'm going to write at the top what they are, and then I will decorate them a little bit, but I don't do a lot to them. So my wish list page is the easier of the two to do, because I literally just write wish list, and then I'm trying to decide what color I want. I'm going to use this mild liner because I think it kind of matches the shirt from the little Father's Day. But all I do is, and you can see it over here, is draw lines, and that's it. So sometimes I draw them with a pen, sometimes I draw them with a ruler, sometimes I draw them by hand, but they don't have to be super accurate or super clean. It's just so that I can write more easily on them than I can on the very faint grid of the Stalogy. And so I put them with two Stalogy boxes in between, which are 5mm boxes, and I just draw my lines. So that is my wish list page. The order tracker page is a little bit more complicated because it actually has columns. And so I put the shop, the items, if it shipped, and if I received it. And I do not ever fuss with whether or not these are in the exact same place or the exact same dimensions as they were before, the month before. I just kind of guesstimate how much space I would need for the shop name versus what I ordered. And then I don't need much space at all for checking off if it was shipped or received. So I just kind of give it 2 columns of grid for received and 2 columns of grid for shipped. Try not to put my finger in it this time. And then the middle is going to be where it gets the markings for, or where it gets the item description. So one handy thing about this Lauren Phillips Design pencil board is that it is a ruler as well. It's pretty, and it can help you lay tabs. You can use it with her tab tapes, which are personally not my thing. I don't like tab tape, but you can also use it to lay regular tabs. And so in my unboxing video where I shared this, I showed you guys how that works. So you can definitely check that out. So then I'm going to write shop, and I just put something at the top that says orders or order tracker. And so what I'm going to do is write order with this mild liner. And then I'm going to use, let's use my gray pen. The gray pen I'm using today is a Le Pen, which I just love saying. So it sounds all fancy in French, but it's a Japanese pen from Marvy. But I like saying Le Pen. Order tracker. And that is it. It's super easy. Sometimes I go back and add lines on it, and sometimes I don't. For right now, I'm not going to, because I'm not sure how many lines I want to add, but I do keep it pretty simple. It doesn't need to be anything super fancy. Basically, it's just so that I can keep track of things that I order throughout the month. If I have something that's from a previous month that hasn't shipped yet, I will actually add it at the bottom. I did this last month. I had some orders from March that carried over because of the pandemic. And so I will put them at the bottom, and I just put carry forward from March or carry forward from April. I don't write the actual items. That way I can go back to that month to look for the items, but I put them down there so that I don't have to flip back and keep looking for open items on old months. This would be everything that I have outstanding for the month. And it's also only things that relate to planners, journaling, art, fountain pens, that kind of stuff. My hobbies that my channel kind of covers. It's not, you know, every order that we order from Amazon, or if we ordered some clothes from Old Navy or something like that. And I go into my weekly layouts. So like I was saying, I am doing my weeklies this month a little bit different. For starters, I am back to a single weekly layout. No Dutch doors, no extra space, because school is ending. This is the last week of school. And so I'm not going to be adding that extra and using those extra pages. But I'm also kind of trying to do each one of them in a different way to give you guys different ideas on how you could use them in your planners, or ways that you could do something similar that are easy and or more complicated depending on your mood or what you want to try out. Pre-sketch out my layouts for the ones that I actually draw out. And so I will go over those with pen, and then I did pick out some stickers to use for the weeks where I'm using stickers, just so that it makes this plan with me go a little bit easier and faster. And I did pick out my colors for the 4 weeks. So every week I use a different primary color for that week. It is the color tone of any decoration that I use, any highlighters that I use, things like that. And it's also the color of the pen that I use that week, that if I'm not using black. I'm almost always using a black pen, but sometimes I add color ink as well. And so I stick to the color for that week so that I don't have to carry a wide assortment of colors with me all the time. I can just carry my pens that fit into that color spectrum. So the colors that I'm using in the 4 weeks of June are these. So the purple is for the first week. This sort of bright orangey peachy color is week 2. Then this sort of minty blue green is week 3, and this color, which is actually kind of a red orange, is week 4. And so those are the colors that I'm using this month. So you'll see that they kind of vary. I don't like them to be similar colors back to back. And then I can match pens to it. So for example, the week that I'm using this color, I can carry this TWSBI with me if I wanted to. I could carry this Jelly Roll pen and so on. And so I just carry a couple of pens in that color spectrum. I also have, this TWSBI, and so I could carry, this one is not inked obviously, but I could ink it up and I could carry those with me, and then I wouldn't have to carry anything else. And so it'd be very minimal. I'd have a black pen, a couple of colors, a highlighter, and I'm done. That is kind of how I do my colors. And I do like color a lot. So I like to have color on my spread. It would be very rare for me to have a completely black and white spread. So this week we are using date covers from Rose Colored Days. They are this really pretty eggplant purple with holographic foiling on them. So I know that not everyone does a sort of Bujo-esque draw your own planner. And so I wanted to mention that when you use these date covers, they can be used in other planners. So I think they're actually designed to be used in pre-printed planners. But if you use a Hobonichi, the Weeks, the A5 Cousin, the original, any of them, you could incorporate those date cover stickers into them. If you use an Erin Condren, if you use a Emily Lee, Printpression, is that what it's called? Printpression? Yeah, anyways, any of those, you could use these date covers and just cover your days to make them pretty. So right now, all I'm doing is tracing roughly. I am not using a ruler. I didn't use a ruler to draw them in pencil, and I'm not using a ruler now. Some weeks I do. Some weeks I just don't have the energy or desire to use one. And this week I decided that I wanted to go sans ruler. So I'm just tracing my boxes that I laid out so that we can then stick the date covers down and a couple of stickers, and our week will be done. Since this is our last week of school, I did actually do or pull a little bit more decorative stickers, or a more decorative sticker to add, because I wanted to signify that. I don't usually put a lot of decorative stickers in my weekly planners, or in this personal planner, I guess, during my weeks. But I do use the Coffee Monsters emojis quite often, so I will use those. I'm going to erase these pencil lines later because I don't want to potentially smudge my Le Pen. So I will go back and erase them later, but I wanted to go ahead and put our stickers down. So we are using these date sticker or day of the week stickers, date cover, and they're going to be roughly the same size as the box that I drew, but they're slightly, ever so slightly bigger. So we're going to stick those down. As you're going to see as we go through this setup video, none of the weeks in this video are the same layout. So one of the things I wanted to do was to show you guys different layout options and also alternatives to drawing out your own layouts. I wanted to give you guys just another way to look at your planner or your planner options. I am a Monday start person. I have to have, that's too far over. Carefully. I have to have my weekend days together, and I like to keep my work week together, so two separate buckets, I guess, of my time. That's how my mind works. That's what I like. All right, so I had pulled out this heart. It's from a Happy Planner sticker book. It is from, I think from Colorways 3. I'm not 100% sure, but I think, but it kind of matched. So I picked that. And then I picked this little balloon. And so this balloon is to signify the last day of school. And so Wednesday is our last day of school. I'm trying to figure out which side I want it on or how I want to lay it. I think I'm going to stick it over here. So that's kind of our little balloon to signify the last day of school. I don't want it to take up the whole box because I still need to be able to write and to plan, but I did want to signify that. And then this heart is going to signify the first day of summer camp. So that is the decorative kind of stickers that I have for this particular week. And then I need some washi tape. So I had originally planned on using, this is a pack of washi tape, or the box from one, but I had originally planned on using this kind of darker one like that. But then I put this balloon down that has kind of like sprinkles in it. And I decided that for the washi tape part, I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. And so I have these Wonton in a Million kind of sprinkle ones. And so I'm going to use these, and I actually think I'm going to use the thicker one. And all I'm using these for is something to put my my section headers on. So that's really like the only purpose. So I'm going to roughly tear off some pieces and lay them at the top of the boxes. So I'm going to use this sampler set from Mandy Lynn Plans for my headers for my boxes. So this is my shopping list, this is my to-do list, and this is my kind of next week don't forget kind of section. And so I don't have exact headers for all of that. And actually I do have some that I made myself, but I'm using those later in a different week. And so I want to use these in this particular week. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to take this one that says grocery pickup, and I'm going to cut it because I don't pick up our groceries, they are delivered. And I'm going to take off the pickup part, and I'm just going to write or put grocery there because this is our grocery shopping list. I don't generally write down, occasionally I'll write something non-grocery on it, but most of it is grocery. Then this over here is going to be my to-do section. So I'm going to put that there. And this is going to be my, like, don't forget, important, remember next week kind of section. That is my layout for the week, and then I just need to date it. I'm going to use my Sharpie. So Monday was the 1st, and so I'm actually going to write Monday. I think my kids' movie got louder. And so that is my week this week. So I am going to make a note real quick because I am at the office working Monday, at home on Tuesday, and I'm at home in the morning for the parade on Wednesday, but I'm not going to write that down. And then I'm going to put a sticker down on Tuesday for our Zoom awards at school. This one, which I think is really for the first day of school, but we are going to put that down. And I'm going to write, so that is our awards. So I will go back and add more pens this week later, but that is my layout for this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the layouts for all the weeks in June. So 4 weeks, because the last 2 days of June are actually going to be in my July book, since they're the Monday and Tuesday of the beginning of July. And then for one of these weeks, I will come back and do a kind of plan with me and putting down the pen together. For this video, I just needed to jot those couple of things down, and then we're just doing my setup. So the next week, we are actually using a printable. So I wanted to show you guys that if you do dailies in your Stalogy and then occasionally you need to throw in a weekly layout and you didn't want to draw it out, you could do a tip in, or you could glue in or tape in or print on label paper a printable instead. And so you don't have to draw out your weeklies. Even if you used this as your planner all year and you never wanted to draw in your weekly layouts and your monthly layouts, you could use a printable for your month and a printable for your week, and then your dailies could be Bujo style or to-do lists or journaling or what have you. And so I am going to use this printable this week for the second week of June. And so this printable is from Roro Designs on Etsy, and I will link her below, and it is modeled after the dashboard layout from the Happy Planner. When you buy this printable, you pick the size that you want. I bought it in a B6 size, so they're 5x7. And it comes with a PDF file that has two formats. One that looks like this, and one that has a section for bills to pay and things to buy. I went ahead and printed out this one, but you could definitely print out the other one. And so you get to choose kind of how you want to do it. I didn't want the bills to pay section, so I figured it was easier to put a list of things I wanted to buy and to put that in myself, and then to white out more sections. So I printed it on sticker paper once again, solely to make it easier to lay it down and to ensure that it sticks nicely. And so I printed it on sticker paper, I cut it, and then I corner punched the ends. I have a Jet Pens haul video on my channel that shows the corner punch that I use, but if I remember for my next plan with me, I will pull it out and show it to you guys. So it just sticks right in. And then you have your week. I wanted to definitely show you guys different options in this plan with me, because I know not everything that I do regularly is everyone's style or everyone's need, and I wanted to show you that you could modify things to your needs. And I am like a firm believer that you can watch anyone's planner videos and find things that are helpful to you or useful to you, even if it's not your planner system. I watch videos for all planner systems, from pre-printed planners to like Erin Condren and Hobonichi, to ring planners, to Happy Planner, to true bullet journal planning, to people that just make lists, to people that don't plan really at all and just journal. And I love them all, and I learn things about all of them. So this is the second week of the month. And so once again, I am just going to, I'm just going to write in the date, and then I am going to stick this little sticker down that says appointments to use here. I'm going to have to print some more stickers, I think, because I really don't have any more shopping list stickers, but I could actually use one of the ones that I made and do that, but it doesn't really match, but that's okay. So do I want to do that? Yeah. So I'm going to put that shopping list there, and then I'm going to put this next week sticker down here, and then I'm going to add just a couple of stickers because we have birthdays for my sister-in-law. So I'm going to put this little birthday for her, and this one for my uncle-in-law, and that will be there. And then I pulled out this Mildliner brush pen, and the only reason that I wanted this is because I wanted to highlight the days of the week because the font is a little small. and I wanted them to stand out. And so this will be kind of my accent color this month, or this week. So that is the second week. Super easy, super fast. You could do it in any planner. And she does customize too. I know that she will switch it to a Sunday start if that's how you work, or add different headers to them, because I found some other people yesterday that actually on their videos that had used printables from her in their ring planners, and that's what they had let me know. So the next week we are going to use my Kita tapes. And so I did a video recently on these, and so I wanted to show you guys how they work. So this is the one that I'm using. This is my favorite set, and I decided to use this sort of graph paper-ish one. And once again, I did draw some simple lines and markings. And so that is kind of like the basic layout for it. And then I lost the Kitas. And these little markings are solely so I know where to put these. So I'm laying these down kind of as date covers. My kids are going crazy in the other room. Okay, so that is the Kita tape, which are just washi strips. And then all I'm going to be doing is putting stickers over them. So I'm just going to be laying these Day of the Week stickers from Coffee Monsters Co. And I'm kind of setting them off to the side, just because I think that it looks kind of pretty. This is actually my favorite, or I think one of my favorites, if not my favorite, layout option that I do, because I like how the main part of my work week is here, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is here, because when we aren't in busy season, I work 8.5 hour to 9 hour days Monday through Thursday, and then I work a 6-hour day on Friday. So Friday is kind of half or partly a vacation or partly a weekend, and so I have time to do stuff for myself on those days when we aren't, you know, dealing with the pandemic and homeschooling and all of that. And so I like that it kind of puts my weekend free days together, and then my shopping and to-do lists kind of go in the center. So there are my days, and then we're just going to date them. So I'm using these minis from Little Ida's notebook, and this week is the 3rd week, which is my keto week, which is the 15th through the 21st. So I always write down so I don't forget where I'm at. So we're going to put the little date stickers. I really like the stickers that I get from Little Ida's notebook. Her stickers and the Coffee Monsters Co. are probably my favorites. The ones I get from Little Ida's are more functional stickers for my social media planner and for this planner, but I really enjoy them. And she just came out with these minis, and I bought some of them. You could see some of them. I think I shared them on Instagram on a post, not just in a story, but I really like them. They're a ton of fun, and they're so cute. So now we have dates. And then what I was going to do is find my mile liner. Okay. So I am using this brush pen, and I am just gonna put like little color on there so that I can stick down my stickers. So I had made these stickers, and this one says to-do list. First my child was screaming, and then now my dog has come in here. You're gonna hear her feet ticking on the floor. So there's my to-do list. Then this is my next week. So I finally figured out how to do these on my Cricut fairly well. This was like my very first batch, so I think they turned out pretty good. And I posted on Instagram. If you don't follow me, you definitely should. It's just scribble.yt on Instagram, but I shared them over there and somebody asked if I would share how to do them. So once I master the process and simplify it a little bit, because this was definitely a learning process, I will do a whole video showing you guys how to make stickers on your Cricut, because it's a little different than using a silhouette. I by no means, like if you're just wanting to do stickers, the silhouette is the better machine, in my opinion, just because it's easier. It's made really well to make stickers. But I love my Cricut. I have a Cricut Maker and I absolutely love it. And I do not regret purchasing it. And it can do the same things. You just takes a little bit of time to learn or some extra steps. But the extra features in it, and it's just a better machine, make it worth it to me. Then this is for my shopping list. I really like this page. I like how it came out a lot. So the only thing we need to add to this page is a birthday sticker for my mother-in-law's birthday. We'll just put it here. And then the Father's Day sticker from the Coffee Monsters Co. that actually says Father's Day. Put it right there. So that is the 3rd week in June. I really, really like this week. I'm super excited. I'm going to show you guys how the Kita tapes work. I did do a video on them, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit better how you could use them in your planner. So you could use them on a pre-printed planner too. You could lay them over the dates or under, or to make little boxes like people do on their Erin Condren or what have you. So that is that week. And so now we are on our last week. And this one is solely pen. So I wanted to do a layout where I didn't use any washi, any stickers, anything but pen and a mild liner, Tombow, highlighter, Crayola, it doesn't matter, but a marker of some sort and pen. That is all we are using. I know not everybody likes stickers, not everybody has stickers, and I wanted to show you guys that you can still have a nice, cute spread. That's a little bit wet from, I kind of went a little crazy with the mild liner. But you can still have a nice spread with just a pen. And I mean, really, you don't need the marker, but I have to have color. So since I have to have color, you guys are going to see it with color. I am using a 005 micron to outline these because I wanted it to be really thin and dainty. So then all I'm going to do is swatch a little section. Shopping to do shopping. And then we're just going to write in our dates. Once again, I pre-wrote them for myself. So this is Monday, Tuesday, 28. And then this is going to be for next week. I'm using a Sharpie S-Gel 0.7 for this. And as I make my lists, I will just draw in little bullets. And then I'm going to just draw in some little flowers. And we are just going to kind of paint them with the brush pen. And that's it. That is the last week in June. So that is my plan with me to set up the month of June. my cover page with my acetate, my tab, my monthly, order tracker, and wish list. The first week where I used stickers and date covers and washi. The second week where I used a printable. The third week where I used Kita, washi strips, and the fourth week where I just used pen and a marker. So that is my plan with me for the month of June. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future videos, and don't forget to just scribble.